The Pastry War, how a French baker made Mexico bleed. In 1838, Mexico was dragged into war by the unlikeliest of causes, a pastry shop. What began as a petty complaint over desserts spiraled into a full-scale naval bombardment that changed Mexico's fate forever. And if you love unbelievable true stories like this, make sure you like and subscribe Yahweh Stories Pastry 4, because this one's as wild as history gets. It started with a French baker named Monsieur Raymontel, living in Mexico City. A decade earlier, during riots in 1828, Mexican soldiers allegedly looted his bakery. Furious, Raymontel demanded 60,000 pesos, an absurd amount equal to a noble's fortune. The Mexican government laughed it off, refusing to pay. But when the story reached King Louis-Philippe III of France, he saw an excuse to flex French power. Using the baker's claim as a diplomatic pretext, he demanded 600,000 pesos in compensation for all French citizens in Mexico. When Mexico refused, France sent a fleet of 26 warships to blockade its ports. In November 1838, the French Navy arrived at Veracruz, Mexico's vital trade city. Admiral Charles Baudin demanded payment or else, and when Mexico stood firm, the French opened fire. The bombardment of San Juan de Ulua reduced Veracruz to ruins. Warehouses burned, civilians fled, and the port that fed the nation's economy fell silent. Rushing to defend his homeland was General Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna, the same man who'd lost Texas 2 years earlier. Hoping to restore his honor, he led a desperate charge against the French Marines. In the chaos, a cannonball shredded his leg, forcing an amputation that he later turned into a grotesque symbol of patriotism. Santa Anna even held a state funeral for his leg, complete with drums and volleys of musket fire. Despite his bravery, the French captured Veracruz. With trade strangled and bankruptcy looming, Mexico turned to Britain for mediation. In March 1839, under pressure, Mexico agreed to pay the full 600,000 pesos. France withdrew, victorious in what became mockingly known as La Guerra de los Pasteles, or the Pastry War. But beneath the absurdity lay something darker, a Europe eager to exploit Mexico's instability, and a nation still bleeding from independence. The pastry that sparked a war became a warning, one France would ignore when it invaded again in the 1860s. History isn't just blood and empires. Sometimes it's sugar and smoke. And if you want more stories that prove truth is stranger than fiction, like and subscribe to Yahweh Stories, because the next one might be even crazier.